Well, good morning to all of you who are probably mostly excited this morning. Those of you who are MAGA are certainly excited this morning. And around the world, actually, it turns out that it's not just America that seems excited. The Asian markets and the European markets are up strongly this morning. Crypto has got a new record. Well, it's crypto. I'm sorry. I did that again. Bitcoin has a new record. Yeah, so the optimism definitely seems to still be in the air. What we know of the pre-market, which is not very much right now, is just tiny bit soft in the United States, but just a bit. We have this beginning this morning from TCM 1907. He says that since the launch day of the until today of the new Tesla Model Y, the number of orders reached over 100,000 units in just 10 days. A record-breaking success for a car that hasn't even arrived at the stores for display yet. So I think that was another piece of good news to start our day with today. It's going to be a really, really good day. I don't know if you've seen some of the executive orders that are going to be signed today, but yes, quite a nice list. According to Gregor Truck, CyberCab with a steering wheel was spotted at Giga, Texas. Okay. I'm not sure that has any meaning at all. There could be lists and lists and lists of reasons why they might have wanted to build a one-off for that purpose. No idea. Some people are saying, oh, the excitement, the thrill that everybody had with the design of the CyberCab would possibly cause Tesla to consider the idea of bringing one out that has a steering wheel and pedals. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. But anyway, that was the news. So CyberCab with a steering wheel. All right, there you go. Then from another one of the factories this morning, 𝐬𝐚𝐬𝐿 goes under the name of on X of Heinrich Zane, says breaking. The next semi-delivery, well, is Core-Mark, even known to have ordered the Tesla Semi. Well, I don't know. I really haven't had much involvement in seeing a list of who it is that has orders in for Tesla Semi. But anyway, there was a picture this morning of a Core-Mark trailer being pulled away, with a Tesla semi truck pulling that trailer away. So Core-Mark is a neighbor over here in Corona, California, just a few miles away from where I live, and pretty big company. I think they have around 18,000 employees, and so interesting if they are taking delivery on one or more trucks. According to AJ this morning, the Tesla market trading update. He gave this on Friday, but I'm just now reporting it. He says, look, Tesla was up 8% for last week. That's pretty good. On Friday, there was strong S&P up 1% for tech and 1.5% for Tesla, implying right in line with the implied beta. Tesla is trading in line with the market, not trading, and I think I said this last week also, they were really all week, more or less trading with the market. There's a lot of speculation around Elon potentially acquiring TikTok. This is something that he's reporting. That's kind of all settled down now. I guess there's a 90-day period, so there'll be time for everybody to really think it through and figure out what to do. Number 4, he says Tesla had strong volume on Friday, $41 billion traded. It was the second highest this year. So it's always nice to see the stock up on high volume, indicating a lot of support for the stock. He says his expectation is that on Tuesday, the first trading day after the Trump inauguration, animal spirits will continue provided that earnings season is supportive. So there'll be some earnings out on Tuesday, not that much. I'm guessing the stock market will be up and the Tesla will be up, but that's not trading advice. Number 6, banks this week delivered almost across the board strong earnings. In the investment banks did particularly well, but I think there was 8 or 9 banks reporting, and all of them gave good guidance, had good years, a good quarter. Tesla's fourth quarter consensus is at 76 cents, which is exactly the same as AJ's estimate. Hence, the call will mostly be if they hit 76 cents. It's pretty funny. He doesn't even say that. Hence, the call will be mostly about management guidance, and I expect management to be very bullish on FSD. Also, this time I think more analysts will pay attention given the obvious evidence of FSD's performance and capabilities. You wonder whether any of these people actually go out and get somebody's car and try it out. Number 8, he says, we know management has advanced visibility of upcoming FSD releases. I expect the new FSD version X.X release will come out within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Number 9, he's speculating this year's almost 1 week, 5 days later than usual fourth quarter earnings call could be to allow more time for potentially releasing another version prior to the call. Nope, it's all about inauguration where Elon knew he'd be attending, and there would be a lot of stuff going on for a couple of days after. Not a good time for him to be holding an earnings call. So I'm 100% sure that's the reason why. Sorry, AJ. I agree with you like 90% of the time. This is Randy Kirk. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Brian White will be on later today at about 7:45. And Larry Goldberg will join me around 5 o'clock-ish, maybe earlier. We'll see what time that one comes out, but at the very latest, probably 5 o'clock. You could also, do Patreon if you'd like to do Patreon. Okay, this is going to be a huge day as we change administrations, go from Democrat to Republicans. Republicans also controlling both houses, even if by slim majorities. Trump is set to sign 200 executive orders or more today, and many of those will be undoing the things that Biden has put in place. Some of them undoing some of those things were things that Biden undid that Trump had put in place that Trump will put back in place. And you can go back probably more generations and find more doings and undoings from administration to administration. You also have, of course, the first day and the first 10 days of the administration. This is going to be a tour de force. We already know much of what the early agenda is. They'll be reversing woke ideas. One of them they've already announced is that there's only going to be 2 genders going forward in all federal official acts, all documents, all paperwork. There will be 2 genders. You'll have to select one. There will also be the elimination of all of the DEI stuff with discrimination in hiring. That will all go away immediately. I'm sure there will be executive orders about that on day 1. How much we also know there's going to be a lot of stuff about deporting illegal aliens and also stopping border penetration by additional individuals. We will also be looking for any early DOGE recommendations that can be dealt with by executive order or just by decisions, just by giving direction to departments as to what they need to do. One of those I expect to have happen will be many, maybe all employees will be ordered to show up back to work. I've heard people say this as low as 5% of federal employees are working in the offices. 95% are working from their homes. That seems crazy. Even if it was 20%, it would be crazy. Anyway, we'll see what happens on all of that. We also expect multiple agencies will be shut down under Chevron because they're not constitutionally allowed to exist. There's no reason we should be paying them to come to work because they were set up illegally. I think there will also be an early effort to eliminate most or all of the Department of Education, except to deliver required, congressional mandated funds to the states, but with few or no strings attached. There will also be all kinds of political feelings of right, wrong, smart, dumb, but the impacts on our wallets will come down to the stock market, and in particular, how the bond market perceive this first week. We've already seen the beginnings of a rally in both the stock market and the bond market on Thursday and Friday, and pretty much everyone figures that'll continue tomorrow. But what about the long term? Well, the bond market is going to be looking for serious cuts. I've been saying that for 2 or 3 weeks. Other people finally starting to say it at the end of next week. The sooner we get real cuts, real DOGE cuts and other kinds of cuts, any kind of, especially the more difficult the cuts, the better. then the faster the bond market will rally. If the bond market will rally, mortgage rates will go down. If mortgage rates go down, the cost of home ownership will go down. If the cost of home ownership goes down, that'll help the CPI, the PPI, and the CPE, and that'll help the Fed make cuts. Yeah, it's yeah, we want to get that flywheel going. Meanwhile, on the purely political side of things, the last legal action of our departing POTUS was to pardon people for whom there has been no investigation, no charges brought, nothing other than the pure speculation that the new administration or that Congress might go after these people politically, like the Democrats went after the Republicans, such as Elon Musk. Well, I don't understand that. Biden was asked by Jack Tapper on December 2020, just in December, he was asked by Jack Tapper about Trump issuing a wave of preemptive pardons. And Biden said, it concerns me in terms of what kind of a precedent that might set. You're not going to see that in our administration, that kind of approach to pardons. This is almost certainly unconstitutional. He didn't say that, I did. Anyway, Biden, of course, lying straight up again and doing exactly the opposite of what he said he would do just probably less than somewhat about a month ago, because it doesn't give the exact date here of this quote. All I can say is, to me, it controverts everything that we know about justice. It puts these people, these individuals, in a position of being pardoned for crimes that nobody knows what those crimes are. Now, if Biden had specifically said, given a list of Fauci's possible crimes and said, I'm pardoning him in advance if there's any actions brought against him for these possible crimes, I would have had slightly less concern. But if you give a blanket pardon that says, if he shot his mother, he can't be brought to justice. I think this is absolutely unconstitutional. And Grok says this: no, a president cannot issue a blanket pardon to someone who has not been charged with a crime. Pardon power generally applies to individuals who have been convicted or, at the very least, formally accused of a federal crime. By the way, state crimes are not covered. So these people there's potential for going after them by state AGs. The U.S. Constitution grants the president the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. But this is interpreted to mean offenses for which legal proceedings have at least been initiated. Preemptive pardons for hypothetical crimes or for individuals not yet charged are not within the established scope of the power, and they would undermine the legal process and the separation of powers. However, there have been controversial issues of pardon power, like in the case of President Ford's pardon of Richard Nixon, where Nixon was pardoned for offenses he might have committed during his presidency, even though he had not been formally charged at the time of the pardon. This was highly debated and seen by some as stretching the constitutional limits of the pardon power. But I think everybody at that point just wanted peace. They just wanted to move on. I can remember the headlines, the discussions. Everything about that was, you know what, let's just move on. Kind of like they said about Clinton with Monica Lewinsky. Let's just move on. Personally, I think it's clear that the blanket pardon power was unjust, unconstitutional. Biden might, etc. Well, anyway, time will tell whether any further action is taken against any of these individuals and what the Supreme Court might ultimately decide if it ever gets that far. But what can we glean from the little bit that we know about markets right now? Because stock and bond markets, everything's closed, of course, today. But what we can see is the European markets up 0.63%. Well, that's the DAX. The FTSE up 0.48. Whatever the CAC is up 0.55. We got Asia up. The ASX is up 0.45. The Nikkei is up 1.17, and the Nifty is up 0.61. So pretty much everybody up a half a percentage point around Europe and Asia, suggesting they're pretty excited about Trump coming into office. All right, let's go over and look at the only other thing that we can really see, and that is the Bitcoin is up 732 at this point at 106,711, again, with the high being 109 about 109.5. Actually, Ether and Solana are down 0.85 and 6.63% for Solana. That means that maybe the Trump dollar, the Trump coin is down at this point. I don't know. Anyway, the Trump coin hit a high of 61.67, and last I checked was trading around 54. It would be too complicated for me right now to go in and tell you what it is. If you really care, I guess you could look it up. All right. So as mentioned, of course, that's all we know about trading for today. Love to have you join me later today when Larry Goldberg is on around 5 o'clock. Love to have you also there with Brian White at 7:45 exactly. And joining Patreon. Oh, yeah. What about last night? What about yesterday on Sunday? Well, all three of yesterday's videos did fantastically. You guys watched it. I mean, these were three really, really good videos with really solid information. I'm not going to go into the details. I'll put up all three cards. Maybe you want to watch one. Maybe you want to watch two. Maybe you already watched one and you want to watch another one. Anyway, they did extremely well. And I can't Brian Wong, me, more me, but interesting subjects and stuff that I think will you would enjoy watching. All right, that's all I got for you right now. It has been let's go, as they say. Let's go. It's a great day to be in America, and it's been great talking to you.